In this video, I'm going to take you behind the scenes of an IT bootcamp. In the first part of this bootcamp, we're going to perform some career research skills. We're then going to write a SMART goal with specific targets and measures for career development. We're also going to delve into what is a digital portfolio, and then we're going to do a deep dive into planning for the content of a digital portfolio. We are going to go into how to create a digital portfolio using Canva and review a template. We're also going to review an example of a digital portfolio that's completely filled out and review potential content that you could add to a digital portfolio. And you're going to leave with a checklist of items that you could add to your IT career digital portfolio. And it could be a digital portfolio that you use for essentially any career, really. We're going to do a deep dive into the parts of the computer with a session of deconstructing it by hand and reviewing the parts. Let's dive into this IT bootcamp session that's going to take you closer to doing the necessary career research and goal setting. And it's also going to take you to the next step with your digital portfolio, and you're going to have a better understanding of the parts of the computer.
So, two things that I didn't get to cover today that I just want to mention because I think they're really good, and we can try to cover them in class because we could do these in class, is I have job description and resume questions. So I came up with some job descriptions for the help desk technician, IT support specialist, network support technician, and system administrator. What I would like you to do, and we can do this in class for like 15 minutes some night, but I'd rather have you write the goal today because I think that stuff's fresher in your mind. This has the descriptions. We've looked at a couple different roles anyways. I'm going to have you identify a role and address the questions if you were writing lines for your resume or cover letter. So basically, based on the position you choose, what hands-on experiences do you think you have towards that position? How have you provided support? And you might have some of those ideas already from the portfolio development question, but it's really around how would we take these lines and then write them for a resume, right? And it's very similar, and it's almost like a little bit repetitive of the other one, but I would say like this is about updating the resume and the keywords. So we kind of captured probably a good portion of this with the first form, but what I envision with this is like, all right, you would come out of this experience of filling this out with like 3 lines that you would change on your resume. You know what I mean? Specifically. So just keep that in mind. This is about identifying how these questions help you, update your resume when you apply. So for example, what hands-on experiences do you have? How have you provided support, and what technical skills? So I know you've been through that thought process, and what you would be doing is you'd be picking what role you want. And I think you've already kind of given me that information anyway, so we'll do that in class as kind of like a follow-up over the goal. All right, but I have all the roles there for people to just think about. Now, let's look at the presentation real quickly. You saw the portfolio. Let me stop sharing. I just want to show you the descriptions that we had. What did you guys think of Canva so far? Initial thoughts. I know it kind of can seem complicated if you just talk about it in like 5-10 minutes, but what are your thoughts about it as like a tool so far? Any initial reactions? And you can use it for presentations. You can also use it for anything really. You can make videos in Canva. Canva is just a super powerful tool. I think the best use that I'd like to kind of like eventually like at least show you something about is as like your LinkedIn updates, like creating a banner for your LinkedIn page. They have a lot of pre-created banners. They have a lot of just graphics that you can use and create that are super helpful. So what I wanted to just review here was these roles one more time before we got into the goals. So help desk technician, entry-level support, essentially. IT support is help desk as well as technical support. It's just a different described role. in that someone who works at a help desk might be kind of stationed at a help desk more, might not be as flexible. Then there's the field support, kind of similar to what you see a Comcast person do in some ways, like on a basic level. A network support technician, of course, supports the networks. Systems administrator is the next step up. So let's just look at, we reviewed those roles, but I just want to look at the differences. So from no experience to entry level roles, you need that basic technical knowledge that you're getting in this class, right? But you also need to kind of expand upon that, into operating systems, Linux basics, troubleshooting, problem solving, customer service, network fundamentals, certifications, so that's the entry level. What you're going to be trying to, after that first initial career experience, is more advanced troubleshooting. You might be looking at, here's the scripting, the bash, PowerShell. Both of those are topics. PowerShell is also in the CompTIA A coming up. You'll see that. PowerShell is the other scripting language for Windows. You're going to learn a little bit about that. Managing user permissions is in CompTIA A as well. Routine task for a system administrator, that's deeper. Security awareness and certification. So just, you might be looking at a network security. You might be looking at more security from CompTIA A or Microsoft. All right, because that's going to be a way to advance your career. So we did that hands-on. All right. And our final piece is let's walk through the goal setting. So back on this document, we don't want the resume skill writing. Oh, before we talk about goal setting, we can do this in class too. I created 4, and this is stuff that you can look at on your own at home if you're interested in checking stuff out. This is an IT ticketing scenario. So basically 4 different IT help desk scenarios with different solutions. So what we were going to do if we, in person, or we can now do this online and put you into breakout groups, is review this, review the scenario, review the request, get the context, have each team write out their response. And of course, thinking about the CompTIA A troubleshooting methodology, right? Same as you do in the questions that you get. We have a printer issue, locked out of a device issue, rubric, and then I have a rubric here for reviewing your solution. Identification, thoroughness of troubleshooting, diagnostic tools, real world constraints. So it's about getting that experience of reviewing an issue and responding to the issue appropriately, which is good practice because if you do it with a question that's not in CompTIA A, you can kind of reapply that process in your mind. So just know that's there. We can do that as an in-class activity at some point, just to kind of keep our thoughts going. Now let's get into our form. So our digital portfolio wrap-up work is essentially we're going to get our goal written, which is this link right here, creating a SMART goal. And let's work through this together. Now, this is going to be about just getting a goal out. It doesn't need to be a perfect goal. We don't need to drive ourselves insane. Some of these questions are pretty straightforward. And I want you to dream a little bit here. If you're not sure, think about what you would like or want. And maybe if it's in your existing role or you want to transition to a different type of role, write out what type of role you want, because the goal can be about anything. It doesn't have to be around just specifically a new position. It can be around a new opportunity where you work. It can be about learning something new in general. So keep it open and big. So what type of entry-level role? I would say a very common one is, the IT support role. working in a corporation, working in, I'll say, in an organization or corporation, providing tech support. Now, alterations to this goal could be, maybe I don't want to do that type of thing. Maybe I want to do data analysis. Maybe I want to do cybersecurity. Maybe I want to work with networks. This is where you want to go. Maybe you want to cyber forensics, or data analysis. Maybe you want to work in data analysis and you're just trying to get better at use of technology, right? So that's where you want to go. Then how will you measure your progress? So what do you think is the essential steps here? And this could be, I would say, this is like a 1-2 question. It doesn't have to be like a 1-2-3, but I would say, first of all, maybe, you're in this class taking the cert, but maybe what's more important than the cert? Maybe I need more hands-on experience and projects. Okay. And I also need, I could say the CompTIA A, but then I'm going to A+ cert. And then I'm going to say practical. Maybe I want to learn some more scripting for IT roles, like, programming or, some specific technical skill. Like, how will I know? And you only really need one or kind of two of these. Like, you need big drivers, because this hands-on experience could be an internship. That could be like a big thing. That's a big goal. It doesn't have to be like a tiny thing. The CompTIA A is like a certification. That's a big goal. That's work. I mean, we're spending time and doing a lot of work. You're having pizza on a Saturday, like trying to get this cert, trying to learn. Then there's technical. That could be a specific technical skill that you think you need to acquire that takes time, right? That's important. And it takes time. You got to remember, it all takes time. So time is the thing. So just to review, we're formulating a goal, a SMART goal based on career research. So we've looked at some of the roles. We're thinking about ourselves. What's an entry-level role that we're interested in? Why are we, what are we leaning towards in terms of feeling? Are we leaning towards IT, data, cybersecurity, networks, data analysis, some sort of IT related or technical role? How are we going to measure it? So these are things that are going to be like check marks. Do I need to get my certification, but I also need this. And it's okay to have I just want to become more familiar too. If you want to become more familiar, but you're not sure, we're basically designing a mini learning plan. All right. Think about it that way. Then achievable. So what skills and knowledge you have and what skills you need to learn to be ready. So how the best way to answer this question, I know that's like a long sentence about this question. When I think of an achievable goal, what makes it this achievable to you? Is it because you're in a class? Is it because you work with tech in your job in the day? Is it what factor of this goal makes it something that's not like a mystery? That's the achievable part. How can you do it? Basically, how can you do the goal? So let's say I want to get into IT support and I want more hands-on experiences. Achievable. I will look for opportunities to practice on hands-on tech labs. You could do that. That could be, I will learn a specific, let's think, troubleshooting technology is can be pretty general in term, you could do the CompTIA A, that's definitely complete CompTIA A, is definitely like measurable, like as a goal. Complete CompTIA A by fall of next year, right? Maybe fall, by end of summer 2025. You want to get it done by 2020. You're going to get all your tests done by summer of 2025. And I think that's like a good, that you could leave it at that and we could kind of frame it out like that. You could set some goals in there. And then basically here, you're going to identify, maybe identify skills. And here you want to maybe make a timeline, but we don't have to do that yet. You don't have to do that yet. This is just framing the goal. You probably all have a timeline in your mind, hopefully. Does everyone have some sort of timeline when they want all this to end and move on to something new? It's an important question, right? Because you don't want it to last forever. You don't want your studying to go to waste either. So relevant. This is an important one. So how does this role and your goal align with your long-term career goals? So I'm in IT, I'm doing hands-on, I'm looking for internships. I'm telling myself I want to be done with the CompTIA A at the end of the summer. Why do I want to be done by the end of the summer? So I'm not doing CompTIA A for 3 years, basically, right? I want to have like after CompTIA A, I want to begin applying for jobs, for specific jobs. If I don't feel confident yet, you know what I mean? Maybe you don't feel confident yet. And experiences, right? Also, you want to, work on your personal brand, resume, and experience level. So you're giving yourself this window of time, right? Basically, this is important because I need this time to work on what's important to me. You need time. We have busy lives, and thank you for the little extra time here. But you need to make time. And you guys have been doing great coming to class. You're making all this time. Don't let it go to waste. So you got to set a goal for when it starts, it ends, and goes on to the next thing. So the next thing is going to be that you maybe want to apply for jobs. And, if it applies to your regular job, is maybe I have the opportunity to move up in my organization. You might have that. So that's two different benefits. I have the opportunity, maybe if I move up at my work, potentially, if I work at a place, it's giving me opportunities, or I want to start applying for specific things. All right. Time bound. So here's what you want to do. I would say make it like at least not, I would like at least 6 months to a year. Because, I'll be honest with you. I heard an email yesterday. This one student from my group last year started around the same time. He still hadn't used his voucher yet. You know what I mean? He put it off. I won't say he was the best at studying. He wasn't, but you guys are pretty motivated. The only way you're going to lose motivation and not use your vouchers, you guys have a good opportunity. CompTIA is not cheap. It's not cheap. It's like $400. By the end of the day, it's like $500. This class alone is not like cheap. So you got to think about the value and how you're going to get out of what you're putting yourself into. So if you're in a class for 2 months and the material, you have to set a goal for when you're going to take, because the takeaway is passing the exam. You know what I mean? So you maybe pass core 1 by August, we'll say, right? Pass core 2 by October. I would say that's a reasonable goal. Once you get in, say you were finishing up, we're finishing this in near the middle of December. December 17th, I think, is our last class. So hopefully you're going to be scheduling sometime in February to take that core one, early mid-February or March. And then you got to take the core one. Definitely recommend taking each one individually, but I'll put the times we have here. So like, by February would be that goal. And I'd say this one, maybe April, because you're going to want to give yourself a month maybe to prep. But once you give yourself a month to prep, remember that's time. You got to make it useful, and you're no longer in the class. You're going to have access to the materials though. So in them, gain practical hands-on experience. That's kind of a passing the test kind of time-bound part of the goal. I definitely would set that for yourself because I think that's something realistic to you. I mean, you could also have something else in there if you wanted to, but I think that's a good goal. And it's important for you now that you're halfway through the first part of this course to start thinking about that, right? Don't let it escape you. Yeah.
Is there a question?
Yep.
Like, if you don't pass the first time, you can do one more?
Yep.
It's one more, okay.
I think it's one more.
Okay.
I think so. Yep. But that's good. I mean, you're going to learn a lot I know it doesn't sound great, but you're going to learn so much when you fail, if you fail. Like you learn a lot from what you're going to learn from the experience, and you're going to learn from the ones you got right and wrong. And then you're going to be able to go back and you're going to have a level of confidence on the ones that you got right. That's a big thing too.
So do they show the ones that, okay, that's great.
They tell you what you got wrong. So the feedback that I've gotten from the most recent students who've done it recently is that, that's why I'm focusing on the lesson content and the vocab, because there's not as many PBQs. So you want to cover the PBQs and labs and know the content as they apply to the lessons. But I definitely feel like if you blew away the questions and then you screwed up a little bit on a PBQ, you could still be okay. You know what I mean? Like that's your room for error, where like I feel like it's hard to know what PBQ you're going to get because they change them up a little bit. And you get multiple. I think you get like 2 PBQs per test. So, and they'll change them up. So it's the most regular variable is the questions. All right. So let's try to write the goal. And this is the final step of the day. So this goal is kind of a 6-month to 1-year goal. So I'll actually literally copy and paste. Actually, I'll copy and paste the second one, probably fits that goal better. I gave 3 options. One is, this is kind of acquiring skills and certifications for a role. This one is to apply for jobs, having met the requirements of a certification. And then this one is to be job ready based on the cert. So like they all kind of say the same thing in different ways. I'm going to take this one and you can do the same thing. Paste it here, and we're going to draft a SMART goal. So by the end of this year, and then I would put, maybe it's, we're in, what month are we now? November. So maybe October, I would say November 2025, I will apply for entry-level IT support roles, having met the requirements of, and here's the thing you need to remember too. This is called IT Foundations course, all right? We do the CompTIA A. You can put this course on your resume as a course, separate than the CompTIA A, just so you know. Because CompTIA A has its own training too. So I'm training you for the CompTIA A, but you can list it as an IT support course with the result being the CompTIA A. You know what I mean? Like, and that's equivalent as like, say you took, you're not getting college credit, but you're getting life credit, which some places take, and you're also getting a number of hours working in a field, which some people take. And it's also probably has more credibility than like a Coursera course. you took it in person, you're doing this prep. And I would say, and CompTIA A+ certification. So you can list those as two separate things. Yep.
A question about there's something like Google IT support. They say now that they kind of put them together. Like if you do the CompTIA,
Yep.
and you pass it, you also can also get their certification, and at the same time they're just
the Google one is definitely easier than CompTIA.
Okay.
And the industry knows that too, just so you know. I would say just be careful of the amount of time. Like, if you feel like CompTIA is definitely a good one to focus on if you've started it. The Google one you might even be able to do on your own, but if it's part of the program and they add it on, it's good, right? Take advantage of it, especially if you have someone help facilitate it. And I think I know the guy who does it; he's awesome. Yeah, I think do it if you have the time. It's the challenge is the time. It's probably a similar set of skills, but I would say the CompTIA A is probably more challenging in terms of like preparing you on the breadth of knowledge. Like that's what the CompTIA A kind of like beats some of these out. It's like it's really broad. There's a lot there, and a lot of things that you can say like on that document around the digital portfolio. There's a lot there that you can say now that you're learning, and it can be a little overwhelming too. So getting experience in IT, let me just finish this one sentence here. Each month I'll study. Each month I'll study. How many hours we study? Well, you have your classes, 2, 4, 6, 8. And let's say you study an extra 2 hours a week, 16. You can say 16 hours for the certification, and then maybe 8 hours after the program's over. Right? Hopefully, just to kind of till November or whatever, till you pass, right? So there's a goal, and then once you get that goal, you can submit. And I'm going to select all the cars. All right, maybe. So I think that's an important process. Getting the goal out is a very important process because hopefully that walks you through like where you're going, right? And we don't have time to do that in class sometimes, but it's important to kind of just make sure you know where you're going, right? So you have the link to this doc. Take a photo of it if you want to, email it to yourself. I think you did some good work today. You might not realize it yet mentally. I mean, the forms, that stuff you've spit out. Did you guys all get an email of what you submitted? Could you just check your email and make sure you got a copy of what you submitted? I have it in a spreadsheet, but I'm just making sure like you got what you submitted. So whatever email you used in the form, did you guys get one? Okay, good. Because what I'd like to do is when we get together again, or maybe pre the next boot camp, is go back and start putting stuff into our portfolio and fine tuning things. You know what I mean? So I hope you found this to be a good balance of hands-on and the goal setting piece is huge. More specific, getting fine tuning like where you're going with what you're doing. That's kind of the point. And also information wise, reviewing these roles, right? So thinking about what you're branding for, right? What's important about you, then thinking about a goal, then thinking about, we did the hands-on activity. We reviewed the parts of the computer. We looked at job descriptions. We'll do some resume writing eventually. We'll do some more IT tickets. And then what we'll do is we'll pull this stuff together to put into the portfolio. So maybe what I'll do is I'll mock up my portfolio to be something that you can kind of like see that matches more precisely what you might have too. And also keep in mind on the presentation, I'm just going to the Canva, so this presentation also has all the links are on the Google Doc, but this presentation is just for the sake of, this has the job roles kind of spelled out. Just also keep in mind, if you want to keep working on your portfolio yourself, don't forget the little Easter egg here. We're going to start with a review of what a digital portfolio is. It's also a goal to kind of have a digital portfolio by the end of the course, or at least by the end of this boot camp. We have like a framework for a portfolio. We're going to talk about the benefits of a portfolio, what we want to put in one, and start building it so that we can put some of these items from this boot camp in here. Then we're going to move into, we're going to do that with Canva. So I'm going to give you a little overview of Canva. So we're going to work on that. So I made a document that I think is going to really help us, like in a short window of time, because I feel like sometimes people struggle with writing SMART goals. Like it can be like, oh, what's important to me, why, and how long. Our goal here is like just to kind of get one out, just get one out of our system, and have it kind of be for either like a 90 days or even like a year, you know, like in terms of thought. Like some could be shorter, some could be longer, but it's based around your decision to kind of take the course and think about where your IT skills fit. All right. Then, so we're going to look at 4 different entry-level roles. We're going to then review the differences in the roles and the skills of between the roles, what people had to do. We're going to do the breakdown of the computer. So I think that'll be fun. I brought some tools. All you need is really a screwdriver, really just a couple different sizes of screwdrivers and something to kind of pry a little bit if we need to. I would say these are different models of computers, so you might see different differences. I took this one apart to show you, but prior to doing it, we'll go through the parts initially. So a digital portfolio, it's basically about showcasing products and skills, a lot about your personal brand. We're going to be using it mainly to help you kind of just envision your next steps. Like it's really like, think about this as a process. Maybe you haven't updated a resume in a long time. Maybe you have never made a digital portfolio. Maybe you've never developed your LinkedIn profile. The portfolio ought to help you at least get information that you can put into all of those things. So that's kind of our goal, is basically getting you to a step where you're thinking about packaging yourself for your opportunity. Tracking career growth, improving networking. Improving networking is huge. Is a huge piece of getting jobs. Networking is like a big part of it. I would say that's like most people's weakness is how to network. And I would say people who know how to network actually get opportunities ahead of people who have the skills most of the time. It's like, so you have to have a balance of the hard skills and what's the other type of skill? You have hard skills and soft skills. So like collaboration, communication, things like that. So I did put some additional resources here that I thought were interesting around digital portfolios. The reason why I picked these is they actually talk about some topics that I would definitely, like, if you're thinking about how to market and brand yourself, go deeper into these. I would say the one interesting one is, there's 2 here that I thought were really interesting. Why you should build a career portfolio, not a career path. And then digital portfolios and resumes, integrating the 2. Because that's the way the world is going, is like someone might see your portfolio and like love you right off the bat, as opposed to like see a resume. A resume is not necessarily as like personal brand heavy. It's very hard to get your personal brand across in a resume sometimes, but it's much easier in a digital portfolio. So just some ideas there on portfolios. So I just wanted to make sure everyone kind of like, who's heard of the term digital portfolio before? People, yeah, it's out there. Think of it as like a way of just marketing your particular attributes. Well, let me go back, find my shared page. Then I have this document here. So this is why don't we all open up this digital portfolio planning tool? I want us to hop into this. This is the best use of our next 15 to 20 minutes. This is going to be, and I'm going to say none of this stuff is easy, okay? Like, I'm not going to say it's easy, but It's not supposed to be easy but it also doesn't need to be perfect. All right. I'm not asking for perfection today. I'm just trying to get you to think about, where you want to start. If you don't have an answer for something, it's okay to say, I don't have any idea. Okay. Because think about it as like a work in progress. I also set these forms so that you get a copy of your response. And that was kind of the main goal, was I wanted to go through the questions, have you fill out the forms, but the data doesn't really help me as much as it can help you. So I wanted to make sure that you kind of get your response in your email. You can kind of think about what you submitted that day. We can look back. And then what we can do in the next boot camp is we can kind of like put pieces together a little bit more even. But I think that, even addressing these questions are going to kind of help you. This is the process of thinking things through. So don't think like, oh, this is what's going on in my digital portfolio. All right. Or I'm sharing this with the world. All right. Don't think about it that way. Think about it as like, I'm doing the best I can in like a minute or two to like explain my next step. You know what I mean? And explain what I'm trying to do. And trust me, like even with myself, like I don't know all the answers to these for myself sometimes, but that's why we're doing it. So let's just walk through each question, and why don't we try to answer each question together a little bit, and then move question to question, and then we can kind of talk about each question too. So first question, well, make sure you add your email. Each question is required, so just make sure make sure you have the right email, because it will get emailed to you. And I want you to have it for the portfolio piece when we start to try to like blend pieces together. So how would you briefly introduce yourself to a potential employer? Include your IT experience, relative skills, and career goals. Yep. Question?
Can you get me here?
Do you have what?
Can you get me here? Because when I came in, you kind of showed the link on the
yes. Let's see that link right there. Can you read that, or is it too small? Is it okay?
Yeah, I can see.
Okay, Foundations of IT Bootcamp. And then that will take you to the main document. And then on the main document, you'll see the portfolio section. And then you'll see a form that says, digital portfolio key questions. So this is the digital portfolio key questions. All right, now let's hop back to the form. All right, so I'm gonna just give a couple ideas. I think it's important. I would present myself as proactive, that I'm looking to acquire certain skills, or I'm eager. You don't have to go too crazy here. You might, if you have experience, and I would start with, I have, 3 years experience, in a role. If you don't, you could say, if you work in customer service, you could say, I have 2 years experience in customer service, or you want to then cite what's called a transferable skill. So even if you worked in fast food, you could say, I worked in customer service providing timely service. Does anyone have a question around a certain position or anything that like they need help with the language? Because there's transferable skills are everywhere. It's really about how you explain it. I would say customer service, you were probably a team player in your role where you were. You collaborated, and you develop, and you may have developed technical skills, like, what computer skills. If you weren't in specifically an IT role, you could say, I manage documents and files. Maybe you do that in your current role. But if you have IT experience, of course, you can put that in there. I would say some people don't have it, but if you do have experience troubleshooting hardware or networking, you can highlight in that section. Now, you can also say here, what's something from the CompTIA A course that you've gained? You know, if today you're going to be looking at some hardware, right? You've done some troubleshooting. You have experience with troubleshooting hardware. You could say computer hardware as a start. And I also have another document that actually goes over this more specifically, but I just want you in this to think about it from your perspective. So troubleshooting computer hardware, software, So that's really, and this is for the about me professional part of your summary. So you may have in your about me, you basically want to say like, I have this kind of experience. It's kind of like an objective for a resume. Like I've done this. You may also say, if you have specific education, certifications or training. Okay. Yep. Certifications or training. So this is just a chance to kind of get out who you are work-wise. If any of that work is related to IT, or you can kind of start to envision how it could be. And that's really it. It's about how are you going to build your profile, and I'll give people 20 more seconds on that, and then we'll move to and if you feel like you're hung up on something, don't hang yourself up too much on any one section of that. It takes time, and if you don't feel, it does take time to develop this stuff, but it starts with having a statement, having a little bit of a statement. And your statement here doesn't need to be perfect. We can take and draft the statement later, but having that first paragraph is where it starts. I'm going to move to the next one. Just read it. So technical skills you've gained from this course. And at this point, we're almost halfway through the course. So you have reviewed hardware maintenance, operating system installation, and networking basics. So those are all items that you could put on this list. Now, you're currently working on a CompTIA A certification. But are there other goals that you have to strengthen your portfolio? So I'm going to write as a sample, I am currently, I have experience working with hardware, software, maybe I work with data during the day. Maybe I work doing data entry in the daytime, or I work on computers, filing reports.
Is this based like more in the future ideal experience with this course for IT?
It's a little bit of a blend, like a little bit of like, what do you do now? And then what do you think you're getting from this class? Yep. I would say start with the now, like maybe what type of role do you do during the day? How can you if you mind, I can help you if you want with the name.
I work for the hospital as customer service.
Okay.
Desk, and I work with medical interpreting, and also I train.
So you are you work on a computer though, right?
Yeah.
Yep. So you have the software experience that you use at this hospital. You have any specific management of files, if you save files to a service. So you also have the customer service piece.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of good stuff. So like, for example, like if I were to just write a sentence based on what you said, I would say I have, I could say 5 years experience. And I'm just putting the years just to kind of like frame it a little bit like the last one. Providing customer support, to healthcare clients, and managing health data records, and utilizing is there any specific software that you use that Epic, use any of the Microsoft Office?
Yes.
Microsoft Office, any Google or anything like that?
And what?
Google or any other services?
Yes, everything, Microsoft, Office, like good Teams,
Mhm.
Google.
Yep, Microsoft Teams. So it's a chance to basically kind of like explain, Teams, software, but it's kind of, this is getting to the next level of like skills, technical skills. And then from this class, you could say, so what you're gaining from this class based on you're during the day, you're getting your customer service with the technical skills. From this class, you're getting a deeper understanding of the hardware, like how it works, what makes it work. So that's where you can add, you can say experience, troubleshooting, computer hardware, software, and applications. You could write something like that and dress that up over time. That would be like the introduction to not only what you do in your job, but what you're learning in the class, kind of like a transition. And some people are going to want to go even harder. Some of them might be like, I'm ready to get that, walk right in and take an IT role. Those people, you could say, or maybe they've done more projects on their own. That's kind of the difference, is maybe they have a computer lab at home and they're experiencing, you could say, if someone had experience building personal computers and setting up networks, like that would be like an actual experience. But you're also in this class through CompTIA A, you're getting experience with networking basics. You understand LAN and WAN networks. And how it functions. And as we move through the course, you're going to get more operational procedures, like what's the best way to solve this and that. Like that's going to build with the class. So, you're going to learn how to, more about operational procedures, like how do you handle a technical problem in a workplace. And you really only need a sentence or two. This is just to kind of get the ball rolling. Then the next one's personal and hands-on experience. So this one, it might be a challenge for you, but you are, but it's a chance to think about it. So right today, you could actually write in here, you have experience in deconstructing computer hardware. You're going to do that today. And you're also going to, we're going to work on I want to have you configure an OS at the next boot camp, but I'm trying to find a virtual tool to do that. Basically an OS setup, like from the start, like something with software. And so you're going to have two hands-on experiences today that you can take from this class. One is deconstructing computers and understanding the parts of the computers. Another thing you're going to do today is we're going to do an IT ticketing challenge. So you could understand the concepts of troubleshooting and customer service when solving technical issues and challenges. You're going to do a ticketing service, IT ticketing, basically. I'm going to have you do some ticketing and understand the processes related to IT ticketing, IT support ticketing. So that's 2 projects you're going to do today. Now, you might have at home built a computer. You might have at home or on a job been given a special task. Maybe your boss said, can you develop this spreadsheet for me? My boss gave me a spreadsheet this week, more or less to take meetings, but ultimately I could take the data from the spreadsheet and utilize AI to come to my conclusions. Like that would be an extension of the skill, right? So I would say special projects at work that you might have been given with technology. I'll use the example of, your boss asked you to create a spreadsheet to analyze customers. Now, even in food service, I'll say you work at Dunkin' Donuts. I'll give you a Dunkin' Donuts example. Maybe the POS system. What's the POS at a Dunkin' Donuts? What's a POS stand for? Point of sale, right? So the POS system goes down. If that goes down and you know how to fix it, or you know how the processes of rebooting it are, that's a technical skill. Dunkin' Donuts sends people around to fix just their POS systems. In-house Dunkin's people, I was shocked they were Dunkin's employees, but they're so big, like a small business might have like a service that does that just does point of sale systems. Now, Dunkin' Donuts has their own IT people who go store to store for the for their probably the ones they own specifically. Depends on who owns them. So you could troubleshoot the system, reboot. Now, and test. Like that process right there, that's a skill. Like not everybody's going to be able to understand what it means to reboot the POS system the right way without just like unplugging it or something like that, right? And think about and identify why it had an issue. But I'm sure it happened today somewhere. Yep, so number 2 was I have 5 years providing customer service to healthcare clients. So I was using you as a little bit of an example and managing health data records and utilizing Epic. So like, what you want to do here is you don't have to like say everything, but you want to basically encapsulate your kind of experience, You only moved ahead 1. And then that connects technical skills from this class to other skills you might have had. So just to review, the first one is how you present yourself to employer, basic. You don't have to go too crazy, just like a line or two, think of it as like a elevator pitch, right? I have this and this and this. You have some soft skills, your technical skills. Then you get specifically into the skills from this class and that you've had maybe in other jobs. Then projects and hands-on is like things that you maybe worked on your own. I said, just for you who weren't here, we can say, we're going to deconstruct computers here and understand the concepts of troubleshooting and customer service when solving technical challenges. Think about how great it is, even if you're applying for a job at Dunkin' Donuts and you tell the manager who's applying you is like, if the POS system goes down, I can help you. Like how many people are going into that job telling, telling them you can do that. You know what I mean? That you're thinking about that stuff. Just think about the difference in that mindset, you know? And the same for any place that has a register, you know? That could be a restaurant, it could be anything. I thought about it years ago. I used to have a restaurant cleaning business, and I always thought it'd be easy to go into the POS systems because I saw people who like, they didn't create the systems. You just sell those systems to restaurants and then manage them and then update them, you know? All right, resume and cover letter. So I kind of shifted my goals in the past. I would say I have one other resume activity for today. I'm not sure if we're going to get to it, but if we don't, this will basically be like the start of it. And I would say, what support skills or experience do you want to highlight on your resume? How would you tailor your resume for entry-level IT? Draft a brief paragraph as an introduction. Now, I don't think you have to necessarily draft a full paragraph here. I do think you should maybe, a simple way to start this is just maybe go like 1, 2, 3. I know some people have a hard time with this, sometimes getting this out, you know, resume stuff. And I would say with resume stuff, like keep it simple at first. And I would say, I want to highlight on my resume, say, I really like what's something about IT you really like? Like you like, even if it's not like a CompTIA A thing, what's something you really like you interests you?
Like about just IT.
Anything, technology. I would start there.
Just because I already do it.
Yeah, like
security, like
IT security.
Yeah, IT security.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then like, what's another one? Or even what, like it can be part of your job, or like, I start with the things that you're passionate about, because that's kind of like the mind shift, because you're going to want to like your job. I was trying to explain that to my son. I'm like you want to like your job. Like, so don't like pick things for the sake of picking them. Right. Like, and you want to, because we were talking about like you want to always be evolving, you know, you want to like your job. So take the time to like figure out what you like about what you want to do next.
I took, I want to say, a coding class, and I
Okay.
say that was fun.
Like just
Yeah,
programming
programming. So
and
like,
scripting.
Yeah.
And how about one more? Thing you like about IT. It could be even like helping people.
Customer service.
Yeah, customer service. So those are 3 great topics right there. Now it also shows a range. So now when you look at these 3 topics, and I'll say just what you said, you could add to this in a couple ways. You could say with the customer service, you just enjoy providing it, right? So that might be one sentence for your resume that you may already have. But with the programming and scripting, you said, I took a class. You know, maybe you took a class. Maybe you go on Reddit or on the web and you research programs that you want to learn. Because that's how you're going to kind of like figure out what you like. You know, you kind of have to like tap into it and feel like I can adapt it for where I'm going. And what do you like about IT security? What is like in it that makes you interested in learning more? Not always the work part.
For me, it's more like the security softwares that we use.
Software and understanding how, like systems.
Mm-hmm.
So that's systems thinking right here. Like that, you were writing a resume, you'd want to say, like, I'm a systems thinker. Like I like, systems thinking. And when a boss sees systems thinking, that's like back to the Dunkin' Donuts resume example, right? It's like, here's this person who wants to work here. Maybe they're just providing customer service, right? But they're a systems thinker. So if something goes down in our systems, I have someone who at least wants to apply themselves to it. And it's the same what we call this, I worked with a woman named Nan, who was my data specialist, and she was a technical writer. And She had done a lot of different tech roles, right? But what she would call, so we have teachers who would tell us when there's issues before maybe other people knew, and we'd call them canaries in the coal mine, right? Like basically, you know, you hear the canary, but you can't see what's going on. Maybe the issue's bigger, but you hear the voice telling you what's happening. And those people are usually having trouble with like a system, you know, like, and that system, you don't know how big the problem is, but it's that first recognition that there is an issue, right? And so now, like, it stays in my head. She used to always say this one teacher was a canary in the coal mine. And now when I listen to teachers tell me issues, I'll be like, oh, they're kind of like doing the same thing, you know, like the canary in the coal mine. And then what you want to do is you want to listen to those people, because they're usually the ones who are going to tell you when something's wrong on a systems level. That's the first step of troubleshooting. You know, like if you work with 5 people doing the same thing in maybe 5 different buildings, right? Maybe entering data, but then all of a sudden something doesn't work for you, you know, do other people have the same issue, you know, and then you're going to learn, like, that's a big part of IT. And if you're good at addressing that problem and you're starting to see all this, and then you might have a series of questions for a person who works in another building. Oh, is this app working the same way, or is it not working the same way? Like, that's the canary in the coal mine, kind of being the person who kind of recognizes something's not working. And then you could say, well, maybe we need to check the network, right? Or we need to check, you know, the install. If you ever work with people and your install of the software was junk, or your particular computer was not configured appropriately for the install, like all sorts of stuff. But it's part of that process of like recognizing an issue. So skills or experience. So this is the highlight, you know. So he likes IT. He may want, I'm guessing you want to go more towards security, right?
Or,
So like,
yeah.
so
Or
this, yeah.
like cybersecurity, that's where
Yeah.
like to head. So,
Yeah, and so this is like the beginning of like number 1, motivations, right? Like you want to do stuff you like because you're going to want to learn more. It makes life way easier to be involved with things you like. I realized I was driving down here, I had one thought in my head that I work in education. I realized like how much like the desire for people who want to become teachers has changed. Like I would say like 100 years ago, right? People became teachers because they wanted to like teach, right? And I feel like it's changed. Like I feel like there's a lot of people who go into teaching like because of the schedule, or like how much it's not like corporate life, or like it's not the, like I see all these things that like, yes, that always maybe was true, but I don't think it's, and I think it's changed how people live in, you know what I mean? Like I think it's changed who gets attracted to the field. And I think that's constantly happening with like this type of stuff too. Like you want to be in, I just wish that more people who wanted to teach like thought about teaching, you know, thought about how to teach. Because some people, what you want to do is you want to join a field where it's something that you want to actually learn about it. You know, you don't want to go into a job and be the one who like, once you get the lay of the land, you just start sitting back. You know, like you see that sometimes. Well, you want to be, to advance in your career, you want to be a person who like likes and cares about what they're doing, right? It's going to make your life way better. Every day. I like teaching, but I like tech, you know, like, and I've had so many more experiences in my life because I like those things. You know what I mean? Like so many better experiences. I started off an art teacher and I was like, I could have stayed there, you know, 100 years and died. No, this is better. And I've had so many better experiences because I didn't stop. Like so many better experiences. Like I made a lot more money, like a lot more money, like hundreds of thousands of dollars more over like a 15-year. I would say my decision to not stick with art and only be a high school art teacher probably made me at least over like a 15-year period, probably like $300,000. Just by not, I'm counting like teaching part-time and doing other things part-time over like a 10 or 15-year period. You know what I mean? Like I'm just adding it. I'm actually never really thought of it that way, but so you can stay where you are. I mean, you can work harder, but you're going to want to work harder if you like what you do. And you're going to go up faster. you're going to learn more, you're going to go up faster. And it allowed you to become an administrator. You know, it allows other opportunities. Because when I was an art teacher, I was started off at like $47,000, and that was in like 2006-7. But things change, and you gotta learn. So I would think of this as like highlight on your resume, and then tailor for an entry level role. So like you start with that highlight, then you're understanding systems. For people with less IT experience, think about the things you really like about IT, and think about how you can, like, even if it's like I enjoy social media. You know what I mean? So I was having a conversation I had a meeting with the HP rep at my work this week, because she'll come and she'll try to sell me computers. And I told her, I said, I tell my students all the time, think about going into sales, technical sales, like computer sales, like, because like you do have to have an understanding. And she said also that all the salespeople have a technical person assigned to them who's just knows the technical side. So I'd heard that, but I had forgotten it. And I was like, oh yeah. So what happens is like these people go out and they try to sell, you know, hardware to different businesses and everything, but they all have to come back and check out and do technical specs and work with a technical guy around what they've chosen to sell. And she said a lot of salespeople don't know as much about the tech as you think. But the reason why she kind of sold the salesperson, she told me that she doesn't think a lot of the technical people have the sales skills, but I was thinking like some do. Like if you have sales skills and you're transitioning and you feel like you can do a balance of both, think about you now have double the opportunities. You could move into the technical side, or you can kind of like go into the sales side, wherever the commission's better, right? Or wherever, you know, like you have options. You know, if you have other experience, think about your other experience now can give you options, you know, because maybe you've done things that other people haven't done. All right, which IT jobs? This might be, try to keep this simple. Which of these jobs help align with your skills and interests? List one or two that you're considering. And what is your goal? Like a simple goal with this. So I would say, you know, if you're not working in I'll do a non-working in IT job. So I would say entry-level IT position, or to acquire more. I would say the most common is to enter an entry-level IT position to acquire more hands-on experience, and the nice thing is once you've written this, you've got it out of your system a little bit. That's what you want to remember. And I would say help desk technician. The goal is just to get more experience. Short-term goal would be CompTIA certification and internship potentially, and I'd say projects hands-on, because maybe you don't have that piece yet, right? And you're looking for that. Long-term, now long-term is like, yes, longer term, 1 year is acquire position, right? Get position. But I would also say, you know, maybe add another, for those, like if you're working in the field, potentially do additional certification. You know, so you just kind of think about what you want. Do you want a position soon? Do you know, set a goal. Like when would you ideally, even in your current role, maybe it's like, I had 2 students in my last class who were both just looking to like move roles in their organization. They had good jobs. They just wanted to shift. You know, is there like an opportunity to shift into something that pays more, is more enjoyable, provides more satisfaction? within the same place you're working now. Just kind of explain that. Then also think about what skills you need to do that a little bit. And then think about a short-term and a long-term goal and what role that might be. It could be one of these roles. It might be another role, but that's a start for a role based on CompTIA A. All right. And that's probably the toughest. I would say that's probably the toughest question for some people, just because they might not have thought about it yet.
I'm very bad at this kind of thing.
It's okay. Just do your best. Just say, next year I want, just dream the impossible dream. Dream. Just imagine like if you could have any job you wanted next year that you felt like you could, that would be an amazing thing for you to do. What would it be? Even if it's out of your reach, put it down. Because if you don't put it out, you'll never know what it'll take to get there. You have to put it out there. I remember when I was doing my doctorate degree, and I thought I wanted to be an instructional designer, like full time. And like my goal was to do it using like technology tools more, like integrate them into whatever I was designing. And then I did the job and I realized like I could do the job, but projects were fun that I did, but it wasn't the management part of the job, or like the collaboration with that job was not like the poor level of collaboration with some people in that job was kind of like what turned me off, so I did the job freelance, and then I did it for Amazon for a project, and then I did it for a couple projects here through a grant. And I realized I liked it, but like nothing's worse than having your projects like messed up. And I had like 3 straight experiences where like I knew the content myself. That's the thing. I was like what you call a subject matter expert, an SME, right? Like they hire some. So I had the skill of knowing the topic and like the skill of being the designer. And like they kept not knowing that. They did just like skip that in their heads. So like nothing was worse than like seeing something just get butchered, like that you cared about, or like you could see so clearly, you know what I mean? And it was like sad. So I like realized I was like, I don't want to do that job, like, or at least work for other people, they're doing it. Like, so like there's going to be jobs that you want, and until you work them, you might not know you hate them yet. So just be ready for that. But that's why you want to be adaptable. You want to be adaptable. So like build the skills so you can go either way. Very important. All right. Let's go to the next one. Social proof. This is basically the final question. LinkedIn endorsements, testimonials, or feedback. Basically like on LinkedIn, there's places to ask for endorsements. There's places to, I would here answer, do you, say I have or don't have a LinkedIn profile. Kind of let me know. I would like you to create one. I have a LinkedIn profile. Most likely you may not have used it a lot, or maybe you've used it quite a bit. I have a LinkedIn profile. I have not updated it in a while. You could be honest. In a while. I can help you a lot with that. Maybe we do that at the end of the day a little bit instead of the other part. I will make a little goal here. If you haven't done that, I will add new skills and experiences to the profile. And request 3 new connections. I know that's a simple goal, but just to get in the habit. And maybe if you have it, you could put the link. Here is the link. If you have one, put the link. And then what profiles or links can you share? So if you say you had something else, like you had a GitHub or you have LinkedIn, or maybe you have, I mean, you could make like even an Instagram just for to showcase your skills. I mean, it wouldn't be a personal Instagram. I wouldn't use your personal Instagram. But you could make like a portfolio on Instagram. Yeah.
What I've seen is like people put they have like a profile, they have like a link to a website saying like their work history and like their skills and stuff like that.
That's what we're gonna put together.
Okay.
Yep.
So
That's the digital portfolio.
Gotcha.
Yep.
So like a Instagram profile, like let's say you open one just to tell how to change your motherboard or something like.
Yeah, you'd want to be thoughtful. You'd want to be thoughtful with the Instagram.
Okay.
Because remember, it's pictures. A lot of people don't read all the text. A lot of people don't go to the links. So, you know, you basically would want to make sure like Instagram's the right platform. I'm going to show you how to make one in Canva, like a quick one. But that's, you know, it's just getting the idea. Like, what would I put on it? And all these questions are part of the start of that idea. So, and I'll show you that in a moment, you know, the next step. So you just want to think about the right platform for, you know, you could say that I am considering what I think the right platform. You don't want to consider too long, but basically showcasing my career experience and my career development is probably the right one. Then the final question is about what would you like to organize and present for your portfolio? So it's kind of a continuation. It asks some specifics, like maybe what colors you like. I would fill this in, you know, like I like blue and grays, you know, like they're professional colors. I like black and white photos. You know, if you were to make a portfolio, what could you see being on it? Yeah.
For a second, I thought we were just saying like, I like this color. And I was like,
You can. I mean, you haven't made it yet, so you could pick. You know, think about colors you like that you think could be you know, think about the message that certain colors send over others. Like if you want it to be seen professionally, neutral colors are good. I'll say neutral would be good.
Just call it development, by the way.
I'll fix it with my Google Fix. Yeah, neutral. I thought you were gonna say neutral.
I couldn't even see that from where I am.
Neutral would be good. Like, so blues, grays, white, tan. So in terms of visual content, photos and videos of projects, awards. I mean, if you ever have an award, I kind of have a professional Instagram, but I don't use it that way. Also, things you care about, things in your career, things in the topic you care about. That's kind of how like X works. But it also works on Instagram, bless you. So this is just like, all right, what I have and like what it could be. All right. And then once you get that, go ahead and hit submit. All right. So just come up with some ideas around what you think it could look like, what you think you'd have on your portfolio. Remember, this whole document, just to remind you, is about digital portfolio planning. Also think about it as like a little bit of career planning. It's a little bit about, we just addressed a lot of different topics. So we did good, actually, I think, in the amount of time we just did. So I want to be able to move into our next topic, but just remember, it's a professional summary. This gets us started with our portfolio, just the idea. Skills and certifications is just, technical skills from the course and things that you feel like you are working on or have gained from the course. Projects and hands-on, these are things that maybe you've done before or are currently working on, or just kind of generally interested in kind of taking further. Resume is kind of like, I would suggest this is kind of like a 1, 2, 3, kind of just to simplify the thinking. Like, what are you passionate about that you want your next career to be about? Because we can build a better resume sentence from that, I think, than something you don't care about. You want to show passion for what you want to do first in IT or technology. So I would suggest, kind of a 1, 2, 3, first things you care about and why you want to be involved with IT, kind of address your passions there. Then there's your goal, which we're going to do again later in more detail. Social proof and recognition, which is you may or may not have, and that's okay. It's just like a topic of conversation, and we'll work on that a little bit at the end. And then what would you feel like it should feel like or have on it? And then I'm gonna hit submit there because I missed the corner of the crosswalk to my version. Now, before you do anything, what you want to do is you want to go up to File and choose Make a Copy. Do you see that right there? And when you make a copy, you'll have your own copy inside your Canva, and then you can edit that template. And let me make sure that's working for everybody. Because I've never actually shared a Canva this way, so. Because usually you collaborate with people. Did it work okay? Yeah. So that one, go to town, then just work on the one, and then what you want to do is rename, when you make a copy, just make sure you rename it so that you know it's the copy. So I just created this one, and then up in the top right, you want to change the name here. And maybe put your name, and then take my picture out of there so I can stop creeping out of there. And then you can put your name in, maybe just put your name in. So it's very easy to change your name. Just once you've made your copy, just click right on the text.
How do you do this again? How do you copy it?
Just up in the top left, File. Make a copy, yep.
And then when you change the name here,
Yep, just double tap on the text. And you make a copy.
I made a copy.
So click right on the text and pop your name in there.
Oh,
Now you have your own version. Yep.
okay, and then I just save it.
It's automatically saved.
But I don't need to rename, right?
I would rename it and put your name on it, just so you know, because the other version is the version I named it.
Okay.
And then what happens is if you don't rename it, it'll look a little weird. It'll be easier for you to find. So now in Canva, you have that template. And I'll show you a couple things on this. And then actually, I think we'll put this aside for a little bit to maybe we'll come back to this a little bit, but I want you to have the template to get started. Because Canva is a super helpful tool to help you with social media stuff, LinkedIn stuff, profile pictures, banners, the whole 9 yards. And it's super easy to use. And for your photo, you'll probably need to upload one. So that's this, if you have a photo on your computer, you might not have a photo on your computer, but when you go to upload, I could put this dog in here. I could drag the dog photo as my photo. That's my AI dog.
Just look at Facebook long picture.
Which one?
The image on screen.
Oh, the doggy?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's made with AI. It's my AI pup.
So when I click on the picture, it doesn't
So which one? Oh, you need to drag a picture in.
Okay, I'll just drag one.
Yeah, so you go to like,
Yep.
if you go to uploads, you might have a picture in there, a sample. Yeah, so
Just-
if you don't have a picture on your computer, you can do it at home. But I just want you to know how to do it. Let me just show you a couple things. We'll work on one page real quick. I have a whole video that shows how I've made this that I'm gonna give you too. But I'm gonna show you on one page. So once you have a copy, scroll down to like here, to the About Me page, and I'll show you how to do everything on one page. And so just watch for a minute on this one page and you'll learn everything, the basics of Canva. I'm gonna give you the basics of Canva in about 2 minutes, all right? Because it's a very simple program to use. It's just how to navigate it, all right? So on the top left, you have the file. With the file, you can make a copy, you can download it, you can see the versions, you can also just move it to the trash. If you're on a phone, you can open up in a desktop app. The main things you're gonna do here is either create a new design, you could upload your photos here, and you can make a copy, or you could download, main stuff there. Here, whenever you're in the middle here, you see this little background color. That will actually let you change the background color if you want. It'd pop out a color menu. Say I want something a little more brown. Now that dog one is brown. All right, I made a mistake. I don't want it brown anymore. I go up to the top and I see the undo. I undo. All right. Oh, I don't want this palette here. It's annoying me. It's in the way. I hit the X. Or do I want a different blue? I can want sky blue. As soon as I search there, when the colors, it lets me find different colors. All right, I still don't want to change it. I'll exit out. All right, I'm gonna go back to my About Me page. All right, so think of it like layers. If you ever used anything like Photoshop, it's kind of similar. So if I click here on the gray, the area that I'm editing is highlighted purple. Whatever I change here, if I decide to change the color, it'll change whatever's that color. So I'm just gonna change it. I want something, I don't want the deep blue. I maybe want something that works with everything. Maybe I'll just go darker gray. All right, just for my example, I'm gonna go darker gray. I'm gonna X that out. All right, I wanna change this text. I double click on the text. And basically when you double click on the text, you can change anything. You can click it, whatever you type, it changes. Maybe I wanna make it larger. I'm gonna select it, and then I just go plus, 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 plus. It makes it larger. Maybe I wanted a different color. I'll make it light gray. It asks me if I wanna change all the text. I don't. So I'll just keep it like that, X. All right, so I've changed the text. Now maybe I want to underline it. Maybe I want to align it. I could make it bullets. I could make it transparent by dragging this and not see half of it. I could also give it effects. We'll hold off on the effects for the portfolio, but they're there. All right, new text, which is probably going to be the thing you use the most. Go here on the text, and then what you're gonna wanna do is go add a text box. As soon as you click add a text box, it pops up this little text window. And generally, like I click off of it, and then I generally, I don't wanna do that. I drag it. And I wanna change the color. It's a little too dark. I'm gonna go up while it's selected and make it white. I don't want it to do everything. And now this text can be, hello, my name is, and you can also copy and paste items into this off a document. All right. I will say, you know, you have all these text features. So just when you click on the text, just notice that you can center update the text here, the size. Here's where challenges happen, okay? Say the text is not showing. You can just remember this feature. Every layer has might be set. If I hit the layer, send backwards of the text, I can't see it. I shouldn't be able to see it anymore. Well, I sent it back. So just remember, certain things can sometimes be layered. Send it. If I hit send it back, the text shouldn't show up. So I don't know why it's not showing up. But maybe because this is transparent. But see how the box is now selected? That's because the text is behind it. So I'm moving this. I'm gonna put the box behind the text. So I'm gonna go right click on the box, layer, send backwards. Now the box is behind. So just note, if you can't see something sometimes, it's because of the layer. So just right click it and just make sure it's on the right layer. You might have to bring it forward, send it back, or bring it to front. I would say that's one of the big things to just know. But otherwise, all of these things are pretty simple. Now here is a link to the social proof. To make a link, you select text. So that link, and then you go to the little link button, and then you can link to different documents or different pages here, or even just put a link in. That's what I did with I linked to the social proof page. So I would say, that's some of the basic things. Up here on the top right, you'll see that you can move a slide up or back. You can make it so you don't see that one. You can lock everything so that it doesn't get edited. You can duplicate it. Say you want 2 pages, like you say you like the template, I'll duplicate it. Now I have 2. All right. Then I could trash it, or I could add a page. If I add a page, it's blank. Okay. Now let's say you've designed it, you really like it, you got your basic information in there. I would add page titles if you can, like about me, but it's not essential. I would say I have a longer video, but I think that's the basics. Say you want to take a look at what it looks like. Go to share. And ultimately, I'd like you to download it. And when you download it, you can download it as just a picture, a PDF, MP4 if it's a video. I would say do PDF standard. This is all pages. All right, so it wants me to it doesn't like my premium images. So you might have to remove those images, but you can easily find a free one. It says try Canva for Teams for free. As long as it doesn't ask me for a credit card, I'll be okay. All right, I don't want to do that. So this is what you might have to do is go down. I'm going to take those 2 bullets off. So, and you'll see that they have the little lines on it, but it's very easy to get similar graphics. It's like LinkedIn profiles, definitely, that's a free version. So now I'm going to go to share. Now it should let me download PDF. You can also just do individual pages if you want. Still, that's a premium image. Okay. Goodness gracious. But if you use your school account, you can get the premium.
Are we gonna have access to our emails from here? Because I don't know if we have access to your account.
To which one?
To the emails of the EDU email.
You can.
I haven't had an access yet.
So just let me finish this one piece, because that's,
problem. I'm sorry about
No.
now.
So this downloaded it as individual files, but let me do one as a full. I just want you to see the whole PDF as a full thing. So PDF, all pages. I want to flatten it. I don't want individual pages, just all one page. I'm just going to flatten it, all pages. All right, we'll just do that. Download. I just want you to see the PDF view. There it is. So then you'll get this version of whatever you edit when you do that download. And I would recommend this as a great start to a digital portfolio, like with a template. And I don't think you need more information than this. You could actually use less, and we can kind of talk about that. But it's cool. You could then upload this to LinkedIn, or you could put it anywhere. And now it's a PDF, and it's easy to scroll through. And just also notice in Canva that I'll just let Restream see it. So this is the PDF view. You can click between windows. You can upload this to your LinkedIn. You could, also make it a web page if you want to, but that's a good view. Then if you're in Canva, just note that you also have the share features, different types of shares. So you could even make it a video if you wanted to. When you go to download, you have lots of options: individual pictures, PDF print, MP4. All right. So that's an overview of. I have a longer video on that, which shows all the editing features when I was making that. But I think that might be good for a start. So just make sure you have your own template. That's what I would say today, is just get that template started, and we can go, hopefully we can get time to go. I want you to understand like what a digital portfolio can look like. So, all right. Let me show you a sample of a digital portfolio that I was looking in templates yesterday that just, I think, was not too bad. So one thing you can do in Canva, let me just show you one thing in here. I have too many Canva accounts. Canva's super, well, I'm just gonna use the account I'm in. So Canva has templates, just so you know. So if you go to create a design and you search for online, like if you search portfolio, like you can use another template, online portfolio, and they have other portfolios available, but some are with the upgraded version, and then some are just kind of don't fit your style, okay? So they have a lot of different portfolio styles, but some of them get very complicated very fast. I did want to show this one. I think this is like a good example of one to just show you of what a basic one could look like. So this one has a couple, links about education experience, contact, online portfolio, graphic design. Here's like an about me page, most, with the focus area, talks about themselves, big picture. They chose to do like an education history. I like the way of the education history where it just kind of like mapped it out in 3 big squares. I thought you could do a lot with that kind of thought, maybe you have these 3 sections of your life that you feel like your education kind of relates to. Job experience is basically like a shortened version of the resume, of like focusing on the experience related to what you're kind of sharing. Then here's the Let's Connect page. So I thought that I thought I wanted to share this one just to kind of show you like what a full one could look like. But imagine having something like this or similar to this, just like as a link that kind of showcases like where you're at. Because this is definitely easier to look at than a long resume, and also shows you in a nutshell and what you're about. So I did want to showcase that. Now let's go back to the doc. All right. So I have this doc too, just to check out. I have the directions for creating the portfolio in here if you need that, but you already have a copy of mine if you need it, and you've seen how to do the template. Just so you know, this is also available. I made this document. This has a checklist for the portfolio. I'm just going to show this for a moment. We don't have to go over this in incredible detail, but I do think it's got good info. So it's called Components of a Digital Portfolio. There it is. So I use this to design the layout of the portfolio I gave you. So if you are using a blank template or you want to know what that template is, it's right here. And this is basically a checklist. So of the components. And there's a bonus feature in here, just so you know, like a little, what do they call it when there's like a little bonus like on the web and you find it? Like
Easter egg.
yeah, there's a little Easter egg here. So this is a topics to add based on kind of your experience. So yes, there's a checklist, which is helpful, but here are actual ideas that you can add. Like you could literally use these as like starter ideas for how the CompTIA A course relates to your experience. So I put those in and they connect straight to CompTIA A. So if you're looking for CompTIA A specific content, I have that in here. So the networking stuff, things that so this is stuff that is already in the lessons you've completed. So if you're looking for language related to networks or software or troubleshooting, that's here already.
So what is this? I'm sorry, where is
This is in the components of your first digital portfolio document. And also I have it for just as suggestions. So if you're looking for ideas or topics specific to portfolios and related to CompTIA A, that's right here. But let's, I just want you to know that exists, and we can hopefully, I want to revisit this at the end of the day and just itemize some of these areas for you, because some of this is going to be more real for you, especially like the projects and hands-on. Okay, I just want you to know that that is on this document right here as the components of your first digital portfolio. Yep. All right, now I'd like you to go to the word cloud generation. And I want you to check out this Mentimeter. All right. It should open up a Menti. Does it open up a Menti for you?
Yeah.
All right. So in 1 or 2 words, and this doesn't have your name attached to it, 1 or 2 words, how would you describe the value of creating a digital portfolio for your IT career? What do you think is the value for you? I think the more specific you are to you, the better it is. So on the right side, it has a couple spots to enter words, 25 words, 3 different times. So this should make us a little word cloud. And think about like your goals, your aspirations, you know, what you're thinking in terms of career.
I didn't do that. I wanted to work like this.
You could refresh and re-enter.
How do I do that? I just wrote random words.
Just refresh. Did you write the random words?
Yeah, I did. I didn't know what I was doing.
I start the answers and the answer came like McDonald's after value.
Oh, I don't know.
That's
Give it a thumbs up.
How do I get rid of this?
Don't worry about it. Just kind of find some words.
That's really dumb. Okay, I get how it works though.
All right. It's pretty simple. It's pretty straightforward. 3 words or 3 sets of multiple words. You know, fast access is a good one. Value is a good one.
I didn't think it was just gonna put McDonald on there.
yeah.
We'll survive. We'll survive.
I'm not gonna be able to take this seriously at all.
I hope you can try.
I can try.
Yeah, just something, because what I'll do is I'll screenshot this and save it for us, whatever we get, just to remind us of. I would say, I'll give us a couple words, like, I like the fast access. I think that's true. I think it's, there's personal branding, right? There's you having, I only entered one. I should have waited before I hit enter. Is everybody good? Or try to put at least 1 or 2 words in, even if you re-enter. I'm gonna re-enter in another browser just to do it one more time. And I'll say, think about your passions. Think about social media. And I would say networking. I think it's a good networking tool. Say you connect with someone on LinkedIn. Oh, I already responded. It didn't like me.
It doesn't let me do it either.
It only allowed 1 response.
No, I did.
Mine didn't let me do it twice either.
No, it just doesn't let you do that.
All right, that's okay. But that's like, I just want you to think about that as a whole. All right, so it's 20 of 12. Let's take like a little mental breather. We can't go anywhere though. Can't take too long a break though, because the food will be coming soon and then we'll take our break. So that's the word cloud. All right, so before we go to lunch, let's do this. On this document, I have the presentation at the top. If you want to click on Bootcamp presentation. And why don't we do this step? Why don't we try to pair, or I know we got an odd number. I can sit with someone. And so on this presentation, I have the overview of the bootcamp. And then I have what we've done so far. We did the portfolio piece. We've talked about that. We've done, this is the IT career exploration. So what we're gonna do is I want us at least to start looking at these roles. So I put 4 major career pathways. So on slide 4, we have 4 pathways. We have help desk technician, IT support specialist, field service technician, network support technician. And then so these are what you'd consider like entry-level positions for IT roles, all right? So I picked 4 as a starting point. These are roles that either people with limited experience or some experience generally move into some form of this role, right? So maybe you're working at a help desk, maybe you're doing specifically more IT support, maybe moving away from the help desk, getting more than calls. Then maybe you are working, outside of the office as a field service, doing more hands-on in person. And then maybe there's a network support. So you're working maybe more specifically with the network than maybe just IT support. After those experiences, there are additional roles that kind of open up opportunities. Systems administrator, network administrator, cybersecurity analyst, cloud specialist. And what I did here was I gave a list. Don't go too far. Are you coming back? Okay. I just want to do one more thing with you guys before lunch. This is like we can ease into this. I put the skills that are the difference between the 2 levels. So to go from entry level to the more advanced skills, basically after you've got that entry level role, You have more basic technical knowledge, you have more troubleshooting, you have more customer service, you have more networking knowledge, right? You've probably done a certification or you've expanded your knowledge, right? And then now you're looking for like, what's the next level, right? So then you are getting involved with maybe becoming a systems administrator, these administration roles, cybersecurity analyst. Well, to go from that entry level to those more advanced roles, there's the advanced troubleshooting. You might get a certification in systems and network administration, scripting and automation, which is a skill that we've seen in the CompTIA A, writing scripts for like Linux scripts for managing devices and networks. Security awareness gets heightened, and certifications like CompTIA A Network Plus, Security, or Microsoft's MTA. So what I'd like us to do is now we want to actually, we can do this after lunch, fill out this form. I actually want to play with the computers a little bit before we go to lunch. But on this form, I would like us to just, I'm just going to look at the questions quick. That's the parts of the computer. After lunch, we're going to spend time based on those roles, developing a SMART goal. Okay? So after lunch, we're going to do this. We're going to look at what type of entry-level role, how will we measure progress towards our goal. So it's taking that idea of that goal we had and trying to actually write a goal. What skills or knowledge, and how does this role align with your long-term career goals and time-bound? And then I gave 3 prompts for writing the goal. In the next 12 months, I will become qualified for a blank role by completing this certification or gaining skills, troubleshooting, and so on. So we'll do this after we take a little lunch. What I'd like to do now is for 15, 20 minutes, go into, I'm going to skip ahead, and I want to do the parts of the computer. So if you could go ahead and open the parts of the computer document. And this gives a description of all the parts that we talked about at the beginning of the class when I did the intro. And then at the bottom, it has a little checklist. Case, power supply, motherboard, CPU, RAM modules, storage drive, cooling system, processing unit, optical drive, cables and connectors. I would say, like, you know, some people told me the visual piece, function of the PC component. Locations of parts is something that I always kind of, you know, something that like I always like review, like a lot of parts are different everywhere you go. Throw something on the Menti for us about that experience. A couple words. You know, it could be location, it could be you dislike the activity, you like hands-on, you like hands-on because it shows you, you know, how the parts go together. Just give a little action on the Menti. And then we'll get to writing a goal. So that's a different one. So it's a different, make sure you're on the right Menti. They are different links. So like if you're on the dock, it's right under parts of the computer. Someone join me with a term. Prove to me my Menti works.
Okay, I found it.
So just pop in a couple things, just quick thoughts.
So how is it going in general? Give me a little update.
That's good. I got most of it out.
So what do you get out so far?
Motherboard,
Mother-
CPU, cooling unit, optical drives, SSD, hard drive, right? Where's the hard drive? That's not the hard drive. I don't think this has
Oh, you
hard
have the SSD.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, you have the SSD. So you had the motherboard, fan, optical
drive.
drive.
This is the power supply I'm struggling with.
Yeah, the power supplies have very tiny little screws.
I already got them out.
And you might find that it might be stuck.
It's
And
here.
how about this little thing? Does it slide out? Just push on it a little bit, gentle.
I don't know what you just did, but it works.
There's a little pin.
And there's also zip ties
Yep.
for some reason.
I have scissors if you need to cut them. Yep. So if you need to cut zip ties, I have scissors too. Okay, there you go. How's it going? Oh, look, you got it out. You want to? You guys are doing good. Yeah. Good job. Good job.
Pretty much everything. Is everything else?
Those are probably. So what's our next? Oh yeah. So what's our next piece? Yeah, you get it. We can look at how those pop. And it's probably half of it. So just remember, it's like half a brick on half a brick. So like you might have to like squeeze on one side and yeah. Let me see. So good, you got this out. Thank God, huh? What a pain that must have been.
So we don't have to wait for you.
You can cut those if you want.
Good.
Oh, there you go. You got it. You got it.
What happened if you cut them?
Well, not the wires per se, but you can. The zip ties sometimes
Oh,
like.
the zip ties.
Yeah.
Do you have something for this?
So that is it. It's a real pain. Do this one first, just so you can see the power supply.
Okay.
And then what we'll do is I'll show you how this works. This needs like it needs to be like squeezed and then pushed and slid. It's the blue mechanism's a little difficult. Like I had a hard time with it last night. But this is good because if you do this one, you can see like the power supply inside. I would just do just do the outside ones. Because the and that fan yeah.
No.
So your computer's dead at home?
Huh?
Your computer's dead at home?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it needs to be updated. I've had it since like 2007. I just refused to give it up because I've always wanted to do this.
Okay.
But I have a laptop that also just recently gave up.
Oh,
and I
okay.
want to do that.
What type of laptop is that?
IMB.
Okay.
Like one of the, I want to say, it's probably from like 2011ish.
Okay.
Something like that. They gave it to my mom on her job. And now she's dying without YouTube.
So you can learn how to do a Linux install on these older PCs, and they'll run longer than the Windows that is dying on it.
She would like me.
I mean, Windows can be a little buggy, but at the same time, like at least it can run a little faster too. It can kind of like keep an older computer alive. So like that would be really the only option with these because Windows won't support the updates and security updates needed on that motherboard. So it kind of ends up being like, you know, this is like the only thing we can do with them is like learn from them.
Yeah.
You know, which is unfortunate, but at the same time. All right, look at this. Got everything laid out. All right. All right, quick reaction to this experience. How was it?
It wasn't troubleshoot that hard for me. What was this?
What was beneficial? Beneficial.
I don't know much about computer parts, so this was very like
This is my favorite part of the
educational.
class.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's like I'm learning about like the parts,
But
like and what they're called to.
very good.
More hands-on person.
Very good. Yeah. Yeah, no, and it's hard because it's like I want to help you with the career part, but then I know this is like this is like the fun part, and it, you know, to kind of dig into it. And it's also good to like see. Could you say what you just said? It helped for you to see the.
Yeah, so like I'm able to see like, oh, okay, so this is what the power, what is it, the power
Yep.
looks like, and you know, just kind of like
Visualize it.
yeah, visualize it because it's more like it's like she said, it's like more hands-on.
Yep.
Like
And it's hard. Like it's hard to get hands-on an online course too.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's very.
Yeah, the thing with this for me is I would agree, but I've done this a lot.
Yep. And everyone's different. Like that's the thing. Whenever I rip one apart, like every one of them, like model-wise.
But I've literally worked with this exact type of computer.
Yeah,
Like
this-
this exact one because I had an internship where I
Yep.
was going through all of these.
And you're ripping them out. And we have.
mainly the drives.
Yep, mainly drives. Why the drives? You know
Because
what?
I was recording serial numbers on a document.
Yep, and a lot of them can be repurposed,
Because
like if
what
they're
was
big
happening-
enough.
because what was happening is it was a town hall I was doing an internship for, and they were like, "Oh, we have all these old computers we're trying to upgrade, but we can't just get rid of the computers. We need to record the serial numbers of the hard drives and then store them.
Okay.
But then we'll just throw away the computer. So like, do whatever you want. You can break the computer for all I care. Just get the hard drive out."
So look how different.
So
Yeah.
I did it with like at least 30 computers.
And look at this chassis. It's like much different than like you'd see if you bought it like to put a computer together. It's designed specifically for that model, so it can be processed quickly for commercial use. And then the drive bays are the same way.
And they all looked like this. Like they all had like
The pull handle.
They had like the pull handle. They had those. The one that had the way you got that one open. They had those.
Yeah, that's a classic one.
Yeah.
And then yeah, and it's good to see like the drive bays. Like they charge like $10 for these on Amazon. Like you still have to buy those when you're gonna do an SSD install. How big? That's not a tiny drive. It's 250.
Let me see that.
And then you have the optical drive, the fans. I also like to see the different different cooling. Do you remove the CPU? Take the CPU out off the motherboard.
Oh, it's on the motherboard. Why didn't I realize that?
You know how to flip that open?
I did at one point.
Just figure out the flip.
I'll figure it out. I just need to remember. Oh yeah, I need to. Hold on, I don't have it.
I think that one thing just flips. I think it just flips. I don't even think you need the screwdriver.
It looks like I did.
Theirs just flipped. Does it? Unless it has a screw in it.
No, there's screws.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
good actually. Put it down on the table so you're level.
They're star screws though. I can't do it with this one. This is the only time this one has not worked.
I know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't have stars.
Screws, we don't have
Oh no.
It
It kind of comes out a little bit.
lay it flat on the table and apply some pressure. Yeah, I didn't bring my star. I was like, got the other one open without anything, so I was like, maybe we'll have the same luck.
Yeah.
Or otherwise, I would have brought the star screwdriver.
It would definitely take a little while.
I have a thicker one, another screwdriver. How's it going? Ooh, how are things coming? I probably sent you on a little goose chase with the power.
Yeah, I knew that wouldn't work. I just thought I'd try.
Here's- That drive is such, I'll be honest, like I had a hard time with that drive. And with that, there's like some YouTube videos on how to do it, but
I mean, I know we got one right here, one right here.
you want me to try it or you want to go for it?
No, we got this.
All right. My son got driven crazy. He gave up. I'm like, come on.
There's a little one right here.
Terrible.
There's a
I'm
little
gonna
one.
press this and I go.
I can press these two because I'm already on this side, and then there's one right here.
I wanted it so bad.
Is it coming out a little bit?
Yeah.
It's done.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
I can't do anything. I just have to watch this.
Okay.
And then the CPU
Oh,
goes like
there.
this.
Looks
And,
cool.
There's no thermal paste on it. Was this before they did that?
I mean, they just have different ways of cooling it. I mean, who knows? It probably maybe had a lot of heat on it. I mean, a lot of fans
the
on it.
thermal paste goes like from here to here.
And the thermal paste is sometimes on the heat sink more. Like just to kind of, but the paste should be somewhere near it.
I don't see any thermal paste.
Where's your heat sink?
Right here.
Oh, it's like a weird one.
Yeah, it's like hooked to this like.
But okay, so
Oh
this
wait,
was
wait, let me see that.
there it is. The paste is on the bottom.
Wait, where?
On the bottom of the right in the square.
Oh, I see it. Yeah.
Motherboards are interesting.
I need the screwdriver again.
Well, this is over there.
Enough to rip it apart. So we got.
Do you have a tiny Phillips head? Like a really, really tiny one?
They might have it. I don't know if they have it.
This
I have a medium, 2 mediums, and like. So at least you got the cooler. The power came out of this really easily.
Yeah, we just like clicked on by this.
I just didn't
this
know.
little bit.
The one I did, that other one I did last night, the power was like a pain.
What do you call this piece? Like I know those are like
Yeah,
little
like
pieces.
IO. It's like just like an IO
Like an
setup.
IO,
Yeah,
okay.
because they differ a lot too, like between models, like ones that have audio or USB-C. Like I tried to charge my watch this morning, and I was like thinking I could plug it into my car. And what's that? That's
This?
yeah, a little toy.
Yeah, it's just my AirPods.
Oh, okay. The
Yeah.
case is cool.
Yeah, because I keep dropping them.
That's
so
a
they
good
just
idea.
pop out, so this one locks
I
in.
didn't realize the thermal paste was.
Oh, that's good.
So yeah.
It needs one of those like alarms where if you walk away from them, it go on your
Start
phone.
vaping.
Yeah. I remember I was so impressed. I had a student once who had like this was like probably back in 2012 when the Galaxy Notes came out, the big ones.
Oh.
They were awesome. And I just remember he's like, yeah, you know what? And if I walk away from the pen, it tells me.
Oh, that's not.
Yeah.
I
I don't know if they do that anyway.
anymore,
It was
yeah.
cool. I was like, all right. Because the screen was huge.
I didn't even know that they did that.
The screen was huge too. Like, I remember back then it was like so big. How's it going over here? You guys got the RAM out? That I will say that's probably one of the tougher areas right in that little corner. I ripped it all out in there. Good job though. You got the drive out. Awesome. How was that experience?
I mean, it was good because we got 3 people.
Yep.
So
You had
2
the
of us
extra
held it
hands.
down, yeah, and then the other one.
Yep. Popped it.
Yep.
Yep. That little case.
That's just what I'm doing.
Oh, we still got the
Yeah.
thing.
And if you notice, I took that part off and I just like left it. Like it seemed to be kind of like something that.
That's where it went. It went like that. You can do that. I have thermal paste all over me. I'm gonna steal it back. I will be back.
All right.
This off.
All right, go for it. Good job. Good job. At least they bundled the cords relatively. Like for how many are there? What else do you like to do hands-on? Everything?
Yeah, I learned better that way.
Yeah. So what's so far?
I have no clue what we've been doing in class.
Oh, in this one?
Yeah. Well, no, this one,
Yeah.
yes. In like when we're at home, I be struggling with
With the labs and stuff.
well, no, the labs I'm good at. The PBQs I'm pretty good at.
That's good.
Once I get to the little lesson quiz thing,
Okay.
it'd be like, no, you thought you knew this information, you didn't.
It's repetition. I tell you, it's repetition because you can do that quiz 3 times in the time it would take you to read the lesson. You know, that's the unfortunate part about it. Like,
Yeah.
so what have you learned so far through this experience of ripping this computer apart and learning the parts?
There are a lot of parts, and you have to be careful with all this stuff and make sure that you know the sequence.
Are you guys ready to put it back together?
Where's my little
Not
map or
really.
whatever that was supposed to wear on the wrist? Where's that?
If this computer, you would need the ESD strap if you were using a regular computer.
Oh, so you
Yep.
don't get shocked. and
Yep.
stuff.
You're not gonna get shocked from that. Yeah. Well, the shock is to prevent damage to the drives.
Right,
Yep.
right.
Yep.
And then the little ones.
If you were to do this at home, do make sure you use an ESD strap.
Okay.
Yep.
Where's the phone? The little ones are for this. Those are for this, right?
Was it easier or harder than you thought it would be if you knew what you were gonna do for this? If you knew you were taking the pieces out, you don't need to keep the screws. Don't worry about it.
How are we gonna put it back together if we don't?
You're not. I won't make you do that. I won't torture you.
How are we gonna learn if he's skipping?
You can put it together if you want to. It's gonna be hard if you lose one, though. I would say it would be much easier to put it back together if it was like a computer you built yourself. What happens with HP and some of these companies is all these parts are so specifically built for like a corporate computer. Like they make them very hard that if you like bend the part the slightest way, it might not work right.
Yeah.
Like, but if you guys can get as far as taking the motherboard out, that would be awesome. I mean, that's the kind of the fun part. You could put it back together. I think most of you would be able to put it back together because would you be able to put it back together if you had to?
I would say so.
Yep.
Like it will definitely take me a while, but
Mhm.
I can figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like, I mean,
It's not that complicated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say that I'm pretty good at remembering like stuff.
Was.
Yeah.
And
so-
definitely take pictures. If you do ever do this and plan on putting it back together, you definitely want to like take pictures. Like,
Or like record myself at least.
yes.
So I could, if I forget what something goes.
And also like count your screws and like just like you would if you were putting an IKEA set together. Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, great job.
This is the one with 5. These right here are from this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep.
This one, 5.
Yeah, right here.
I want to do a hands-on activity with you guys where you do the operating system. I want to, because that's a good thing to learn. I'm just trying to figure out how to do it virtual. I'd love to do a virtual machine project. Not today, but like at the next boot camp, like just something that kind of gets you to like understand how virtual machines work. Because if you understand how a virtual machine works, you can essentially understand like how a computer function, like how a computer works. You know, it's a computer within a computer. So install and you basically have a computer with a certain amount of memory, RAM. You have to allocate all that space, and then it has its own like, system. So then you can install a system and then test a system. So it's almost like doing it as if you were just doing it to a regular computer.
Yeah.
So like you could make it so it's like a dual boot computer. So you can do different operating systems. Yeah, I think did I take that out? That does pop off, I guess, if you want it to. The fan might slide out.
Yeah, no, but someone's holding it to the bottom.
Oh, I'm going to be honest, it's a very difficult screw. It's in there. It's just, you
On the
can't
wires,
see it.
I can feel it. It's at
Yep.
the corner. It's not letting it lift.
Yep.
Can I borrow that small?
Possibly, maybe.
Does anyone have experience? You have any experience with Raspberry Pis at all?
No.
Raspberry Pis are like small microcomputers that basically have all the parts of a computer, but it's basically just like the motherboard.
It's for the kids, like you can get the little kids.
Yep.
I never got
But they,
I was supposed to
yeah, Raspberry Pi. So you can do everything on a Raspberry Pi that you can on a regular computer.
So no, the fan can
And
probably
actually-
come out.
yep,
Yeah.
yep.
But the fan can come out. Is this itself? It has another screw. Like I can feel it. It's at the corner. It's like 3 of them. See, there's one right here.
Oh, okay. Okay.
There's one right here. One right here. So there's 2 left. Oh no, there's 3 on that. There's 3 on that corner. And then there's a bunch of little ones. I don't think the little ones gonna come.
Does this slide? I mean, that doesn't do anything to it, does it? That's just the case, I guess. Do you want to see the piece that I took? Do you want to see the other one?
Yeah.
I know, I'm just teasing. But you can if you want. Just that I don't want you to like feel like you're struggling.
Are we gonna work on the little one too?
You can. I can put that in your hands. I think you'd enjoy it, ripping it apart.
I would very much so.
All right. Once this is all set, we'll give everyone some food, and then I'll put that in your hands to rip it apart. I should have brought more of the minis. I bought those. I was gonna put a system on that, and I couldn't get it to boot. So I was like, I'll just bring it. It's fun to watch you guys having fun with this, so I'm glad you're enjoying it. It's okay. Yeah, that screw is so hard to see.
It's on the corner here.
It's on this corner.
Yep, exactly.
Let
Yep.
me,
Yep, exactly.
Oh yeah, I see.
Cause there's a bunch on that corner over there. There's like
You see it?
there's this one.
I literally pushed the screwdriver down in between it to get at it. I was kind of in a rush because my son was freaking out, and I'm like, come on, like just get the screw in there. I just like torturing him with stuff like that.
I can't believe you wouldn't enjoy this.
I think he did, but he doesn't like the fact that he's doing it for me. Like it's more
yeah,
like
that
a
makes sense.
kid thing.
He's like, if it's for me, I'll do it.
But if it's for you.
Yeah.
That's what I thought, but this is like, it's not, I don't think that's it.
And it's wedged in there.
Cause, oh, sorry.
I know.
These are not it, right?
Which one?
These right here, these are not it, right?
It is in there.
But it's not
No,
these.
no.
Okay,
It's
that's
definitely
what I
in
thought.
that corner.
Yeah, it has to be like
It really needs to be like pulled out, like, and it's not easy. It's like anything but easy. It's like tucked way. It's like there it is. You see it?
It's this one?
Yep.
That's what I thought originally. I've seen that like 4 times, but this doesn't, I can't, this doesn't go in. This stays surface level.
Want me to try? I think I got it at home. I think that's the one.
Yeah, it doesn't even, because it doesn't have the grooves for you to even put it in. It's like a flat surface.
Do you want to try one of these? Or let's see if they had a different one. Do you have another Phillips?
This is over there.
Yeah, I think this is. Try this one. Try that one. Because I must have had something. Because I grabbed a couple extra screws. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that's the right one. Whatever it was, it didn't have a hole before, and now it has a hole.
Oh, on that one.
Yeah, whatever that is. I don't think it's the screw.
Is it coming out or is it just kind of spinning?
No, it's just making a hole.
Oh, let me see.
It's the same one as these over here.
Pop down in there. Maybe I'm not. Let me pull it back.
Maybe we just think there's another screw.
No, there's something in there.
That's holding it, right?
What I remember moving this. I remember having to like move. Sorry. I remember having to like move something.
There we go. I see it. Yeah, I seen it. Alright, let me see. I got it.
All right. Go for it. I remember having to like move something to see it, like, you know what I mean? Like it was like, oh, I wouldn't even seen it if I was not forceful with that one part.
Honestly, this is. Yeah, that's crazy. That's like.
I know.
Why did they do something like that? I don't understand. At least they put the screw on the other side.
How's it going over here? They're deconstructing.
Yeah, the power.
Yeah, the
Can you guys see it?
so you guys are all good with the parts, right?
Yeah, we're good with it.
That's good.
Just do it.
Honestly, we're just.
Yeah, the good part of this, do you guys want to have some pizza?
Honestly, yeah.
All right. If you could put all, remember, I have to like cart these out of here somehow. So like just, if you want to, let's go.
Put them in with the screws.
Let's go over the parts one more time.
Optical drive.
All right. We'll start on the left. Let's go left to right. Here we go.
That's right.
Left to right. We'll go on.
This one?
Yep.
Well, there's the CPU on top of it.
Okay.
I put it there because I don't want to touch the thermal pasting.
Mm-hmm.
And then the radiator.
Mm-hmm.
The well,
It's
whatever.
essentially, yeah.
It is a radiator, but it's a
Like a heat sink.
yeah, heat sink is what I meant to say.
And what would you
Fan.
call these things that kind of like keep it off the?
Those are screws, but they connect to the motherboard, like
Yep.
right here, pretty much.
Yep. To lift it off the motherboard. All right. What else we got?
You got the power supply.
Power supply.
Yeah, and the I/O.
I/O.
Yeah.
I/O inputs.
Yes. And then the SSD.
SSD. Yeah.
Optical drive.
Optical drive. And then we got the chassis, the case.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then we got the, what's the next
The-
thing?
the
RAM. RAM.
Well, a single RAM piece for some reason.
And then you got your motherboard with the input outputs on it. And then you had what held down the CPU. All right. If you could neatly fit it all back into the chassis case together, I mean, I know it's in multiple parts, but if you could fit it into that, that would help me we'll carry it home. Or you can take it home if you want to. I mean, you can have any of these parts if you want to,
I
but
don't have the ability to do that.
that's okay. But if you guys could just neaten it up and put all the parts in the chassis case, that would be helpful to me because when I take it out to my car. I'm gonna actually make a wall at home of computer parts so that when I'm on an online call, I can just point to people like, that's what it looks like. I should have brought, I have a server motherboard that I want to show you guys. I'll put that on the wall. Oh,
Ooh,
breakthrough?
dang.
What happened?
Oh, do we gotta take this out? Cause we can't take this out unless this comes out. Unless I think this is blocking it from coming up. Wait, can we touch this one?
I got it out, but I left it with one wire keeping it in. Because it was like, the wire keeping it in was like wired in.
So this. So it's probably
The black wire is the one I kept kind of running. So like if I had this one, this is how I left it. So I got it out, but there was still, it's out, but there was one black wire running to the power.
I think it's like these little things right here to the side that's keeping it from coming up. If that makes sense. Like these little things, yeah. That's why I think we gotta take this out in order for it to. Oh, you right. Alright, let's see. Yo, go ahead, CompTIA girl. Let's go. Come on.
Woo! Yay!
That's probably the black white.
Yeah, there's like it connects to the power.
Alright, but technically we took it out.
Good
Technically,
job.
we took it out.
Woohoo! Feels good to rip that thing apart.
I know how to get the CPU on, but I'm trying to do it without
Yeah, that's the screw that had us all crazy.
So what I'll have you guys do is, in terms of the challenge of putting it together, why don't you try to like just place the parts where they would go, for the most part. You don't have to like screw them in. I won't drive you crazy with that. But good job. Congratulations. Very good.
Did you want us to pull this out too? I mean, technically.
Oh yeah. We want do the motherboard. Do you Yeah, I tried. It's just got screws on the corners. You got that?
Yeah, we got them.
There's
already.
usually one screw, might be one extra one hidden.
Yeah.
And it, you know what? I think it's these.
That are.
Before you do
Oh.
that, first things first.
Yep. Yeah. Those keep the motherboard off the case, and then they also are keeping it in there. Good job. And then there might be a hidden screw somewhere, like if it doesn't pop right out.
I think that's the only screw left.
But you might be good once that comes up. It'll slide right up for the most part. You maybe something with the IO, yeah, and that might pop off.
I think it is this whole.
Oh yeah, you can rip that out too, off that. That's the difference of a little corporate computer too. I ended up like popping this off completely. Off out of that.
Oh,
Yeah, like that. Then that's okay. That's loose now.
Thing.
And then that might just like slide.
How many bags? Like a tiny bag?
What for what? For,
Put all the like nuts in.
you can throw the screws away.
Well, what I was thinking of doing is getting a tiny bag and just throwing it in with the thing.
Don't worry about it. You can put them in recycling. Yeah. Because I will never put this computer back together. So I will never use the screws.
I just feel like even if you like don't use the screws,
Hold on, we gotta move
they
it.
could probably be used for something.
Yeah, we gotta.
They could be, but my likelihood of getting into someone and then having them be used is like gonna take years.
Yeah, but it's also just sitting in the computer.
You can take them if you want them. If you don't want them, then put them in the trash.
there you go.
Oh, good job. Popping out the motherboard. Yay. CompTIA and her motherboard. You guys earned the motherboard experience.
Whew, we did great, ladies.
Covered the
Women in IT.
Good job, ladies. All right. All right. So tell just before. So what was the benefit of that experience? Just in general, what did you learn that maybe you didn't know before?
It's a lot harder than I remember.
Yeah, a lot of tight spaces.
Tight spaces.
Having to map what you're doing to put stuff out
Oh my
before
god, no, me too.
you start, because then you have to put back and you gotta know where things go.
Yeah. So if you were to put it back, you make a little photo. So what did that help you think about with?
This helps me memorize what things are.
Okay.
Because reading it, it's not the same.
Yep.
Like even the visuals, just because all computers look
ones that
different.
keeps your memory forever.
Pretty much.
Yeah,
So like
very
this,
fast.
hands-on.
So that helped.
What a RAM is, I can tell you.
Now you know. Heat sink RAM. All right. Show me some RAM. Show me the RAM. All right. Hold up the RAM. Hold up the RAM. All right. There's your RAM. All right. RAM. All right. Now CPU. There you go. CPU. Perfect. How about heat sink? Heat sink. Heat sink. All right.
And for extra credit, thermal paste.
Thermal paste. Yep. Careful. All right. Hard drive.
Drive.
Hard drive. That's what type of hard drive is that?
HDD.
All right. That's the HDD. Yep. Not the SSD. All right. Now motherboard. Motherboard. All right. Power supply.
Power.
Basically that kit. Yep. The power. Fans. You got 2 fans.
2 fans.
All right. Now optical drive. Very good. Now if you were going to put it back together, where would you start?
Putting the motherboard in.
Put motherboard in, then probably what?
After
Label it. Actually,
I don't remember which
we
one.
have to put the fan in first because the fan came in now.
Okay.
So we have to put the
Well, it
what's that,
does
the front?
matter.
On this one, we have to put the front fan in
Mm-hmm.
because that came out last. So you gotta pretty much work backwards. We gotta put the fan in.
Put everything in reverse.
Then we can put the motherboard in.
Once we put the motherboard in, we can put the
Power.
Yep.
Yep.
Then we can put. No, we took this out first. We can put the hard drive. Then we can put the optical drive, so that it can be leveled, so it's positioning.
Mm-hmm.
And then after we do all that, put all the screws in, we can go ahead and we can put the RAM in first actually.
Yep.
And then we can put the CPU and the heating supplies.
All right. Very good. All right. I'm going to say to you, just try to place everything back in the case. We don't need the screws. You can just put those in recycling. And very good job.
These good screws? What you
You can
mean?
take them if you want them.
I am.
I'm gonna make.
Always need a screw.
I'm gonna make a little wall.
Recycling bin.
I'm gonna make a wall of computer parts at
I
home.
threw a bunch of them in there.
Oh, absolutely not. I'll just take my little screws over here.
Yeah. Very. All right. So what were some things that you learned from the hands-on experience differently? Again, like in terms of the parts and how they work. Did you think about how they worked? Did you guys think about that? That's my one main question for you. Like in terms of how the computer parts work, other than just taking them apart, was there anything you gained, like in thinking about how they function, like what they do? Did this process make you think about that?
I mean, it didn't make me think about it. It just, like, it didn't make me wonder, oh, what does this do? What does this do? What does this do? But it was kind of, it's one of those things where it's like, you know, when you can finally get place a name to a face.
Yep.
It's kind of one of those things. Like you kind of come in with the knowledge from the theoretical part, knowing what the stuff does.
Okay.
And now being able to like actually have it in your hand, hold it,
Yep.
and work with it.
Yep.
It's kind of like.
And then now,
this
and
is
now,
what
yep,
this
and
is
now
what
you
it
have,
does.
you can, put name to the face and be like, oh, this is the power, it needs the cooling,
Right.
and I have this CPU. Fantastic, great job, great job. All right.